Let's start. So, hello everyone. This is Paulina Klimak from InTheCage.pl, and today I have the pleasure to talk with Brandon Gibson, who is a trainer, a coach in Jackson Wing Academy in Albuquerque in America. So it's so nice to see you and to hear you today. How are you?
Likewise, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Excited speaking with you and all of the Polish fans.
Yeah, actually, about Poland and MMA, there's a big hype about it since we have Joanna and other fighters who are pretty interested in it. And also Polish MMA industry is growing rapidly. So I suppose you have a lot of fans. And you're not actually, yeah?
You know, I was able to visit Poland last year. I cornered Cowboy against Darren Till and Gdansk and Jody Escobel against Carolina. So it was a rough night for us, but we loved Poland and the fans were amazing and the city was beautiful. So I can't wait to go back.
Yeah, so you're invited anytime. I was there as well in Gdańsk.
That
Yeah,
was a
so
fun night.
yeah, okay. So actually, let's start with a couple of questions that I've previously prepared. So I saw on your Instagram and on your social media, because it's pretty updated, like day by day, that there were some events. Like, let me just read it: Jackson Wink Fight Night no, Jackson Wink Fight Night. And the day that we were scheduled at first, it was 4 days after the date, so that's what I have written over there. So tell me something about this event, and is it something special, or you do it like like you have some tendency?
Yeah, we typically do them every 3 or 4 months, and it's a great local promotion at one of our casinos. And it's a great way for our young fighters to showcase their skills and start building their records. Um, there's a lot of great martial arts gyms in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where we're at. You know, there's 3 different gyms that all have UFC fighters on their roster, maybe even 4 now. Um, so it's great to put some of those young prospects against each other from all of these local gyms, and we usually get a great crowd. Um, Overall, just solid event.
Yeah, it's cool. We also do have some local ones. There is a major organization in Poland which is called KSW,
Oh
and
yes.
yeah, and this is a big thing over there. But there are also the local ones, and usually it's a big source of some talents and prospects, which is later, like having the contract with the organization, and the thing is going on. Show must go on, right? Yeah, I would like to swing back to the past and ask about the UFC 237, because I saw also on your social media that you were pretty excited on that event. And what's your general opinion about it? Maybe the fights that you liked the most?
Yeah, that was a cool event. You know, they were in Rio de Janeiro. I've been to Brazil numerous times. It's a beautiful place, and it's always a very unique atmosphere there. The Brazilian fans are just so loud, and you feel the pulse and the vibration when you enter the arena. Um, I was excited to see 2 of my very old friends and 2 former students, Clay Guida and BJ Penn, fight each other. You know, they're
Uh,
both just legends in the sport. I knew it would be a good fight just with their styles, and they went out there and really pushed each other and had fun doing it. That made me happy to see.
yeah, so what's your opinion about, BJ Penn and performing, even though the results are not very like successful? A lot of people are suggesting the retirement actually.
Yeah, I think that is a decision between BJ and his coaches and his family. And as long as he has the love for it and the hunger to really train hard and push through a training camp, I'll always support BJ in his goals. Um, you know, everybody, especially coaches, would like to see their fighters hang it up before it
Yeah.
gets to the point they're losing consecutively. Um, I know BJ doesn't need the money. He does it because he truly loves competing in the sport. So as long as he has that, you know, I would leave that up to his coaches, and I won't have an opinion on that.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So let's just go in the future, right? a bit because there is a big event ahead of us, UFC 239, and the preparations are something that you're, a major person over there because there is John Jones versus Thiago Santos, and you're working with him. There's Holly Holm versus Amanda Nunez. It's July 6th, so it's very, very soon. What's the
Yeah,
preparations like?
we're training very, very hard. We have a wonderful camp around John Jones, great sparring partners. Israel Martinez is the wrestling coach. Um, Tusa Alankar is our jiu-jitsu coach. Greg Jackson is our head coach. Mike Winklejohn's a striking coach. I am a striking coach. And then we have Aaron Soriano to help us out with boxing, and great sparring partners like former UFC fighter Frank Lester. So we have a very strong team around us right now. Great strength and conditioning coaches. And we've been working hard. We've been very active this year, coming off the Gustafsson fight into the Anthony Smith fight, and now into the Thiago Santos fight. So everything's kind of right on track. We've been staying active. We've been studying very hard, building up a great game plan, making sure our defenses are all prepared. And now these last kind of 4 weeks of camp, we're just really fine-tuning everything and making sure John is so sharp mentally and physically and technically to go out and put on another great performance.
You're not actually the first coach that was having this interview with us because previously Winklejohn
Okay.
was talking with Martina, and he also shared the same approach as you. So I can see the pattern. So it's good that you are pretty unanimous in terms of your mind and how should it look like.
We've done a lot of camps together. This team that John Jones has, we've been together for almost 10 years now,
Yeah.
and undefeated for 10 years. So we have a very thorough process on how we work together and who has what role, and we all have a lot of respect for each other and each other's voices and eyes.
Yes.
So we have a good thing going.
Fantastic. It's a wonderful thing to hear that. I'm just curious about the process of, training with somebody who is John Jones, because I mean he's really unique in this whole MMA world. And how is it like to be his coach in terms of, because um, the the increase of abilities and increase of skills, boosting form, shape, and some talent that a person actually has. It is obvious, right? But if you're a coach of somebody who is John Jones, you already know that he's a diamond. But how it does look like in terms of progress? Is he still progressing?
Always. And
Always.
that's the most inspiring things about training John, is that his gifts and his abilities are just limitless.
Oh my
So
God.
and it's a real collaboration of ideas. Sometimes we refer to it as like a more of a musical setting, because there's things he does that I can see and elaborate on, and there's things that
Yeah.
I may be doing, and then he may have this idea. Let's switch it up into this, and so we're always evolving, and we're always trying to look for new sets and traps that if I was a coach for Santos and I was watching John Jones and I was trying to prepare my athlete for
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z, how can I, as John Jones coach, disrupt all of that and try to make a spectacular finish?
Yeah, all right. So now I know how it does look like. So let's just talk about another fighter that you're having the opportunity to work with. Aaron Pico is also ahead of a big fight with Adam Borg. I don't know
Or
to. Yeah, yeah, at the Bellator. Yeah, so another organization. And what's the situation over there in this aspect?
Aaron Pico came to our gym about a month ago.
Yeah.
I'd met him previously. I'd seen him work out in California before, and just as an MMA coach and an MMA fan, I was very aware of who Aaron Pico was. One of the youngest Olympic wrestlers in the United States history.
Yes.
He's trained under the amazing, iconic Freddie Roach in boxing, and Aaron's one of the best prospects in the world. And for him to choose our gym to come into is just very humbling and exciting as a coach. and we just clicked right away. Aaron has every gift. He reminds me a lot of John Jones in the fact that we could show him a move, and in 5 reputations of it, he has it mastered. Just very, very gifted, very intelligent, very hardworking, and I see multiple championships in his future.
Yeah, that's right. The mind game is also very, important in all this business. Yeah, so I just want to ask about the thing that I just reminded myself. It's not here on the, conspect, let's say, about Tom Duquesnoy, because I don't know if you worked with him, but he's also, yeah, okay, but you know that he retired, and there was a massive, post on the social media. There wasn't a precise reason given of this decision, but it was very, very, I could feel the, yeah. Okay, so do you support his decision? And I don't know if you know many more pieces of information, but what could you say as a person who had this opportunity to work with him?
Yeah, I was very fortunate to work with Tom. Starting in his Bama career, maybe 4 years ago, he came over to Jackson Winklejohn, and so I helped prepare him for all of his Bama title fights, and then help prepare him for his fights in the UFC. Tom's a wonderful, wonderful young man, very talented, very focused, very hardworking, and I think Tom was always one of those guys that was going to be successful in any venture he chose, MMA or outside of MMA. And I think it got to the point in the UFC where he had kind of faced a loss, and he probably looked at other opportunities he had. And I'm sure there was numerous. I'm sure he's going to be very successful in those. So, like I said earlier, as a coach, sometimes you want your fighters to kind of walk away before there's any real damage to their body, or, they go on a streak of losses. So, if Tom chose that it was the right time to leave the sport, I'm sure that's the best decision for him.
Yeah, so we're keeping, our fingers crossed for whatever he's willing to choose in the future, and I'm sure he'll be fine.
We'll see him in the movies. He'll be doing something special, I'm sure.
Yeah, so we're just looking forward to those special, things that he's about to do. And if you were to say your personal opinion about Polish fighters in the UFC, so you have Karolina Kowalkiewicz, you have Joanna Jędrzejczyk, you have Krzysztof Jotka, Marcin Tybura maybe, and rising star Michał Aleksiejczuk. How would you characterize, let's say, those Polish people who are a part of the biggest thing, which is UFC?
Yeah, Marcin trained out of our gym for quite a while, and he was just so humble, and his spirit was just always full of joy and laughter, and we all really enjoyed seeing Marcin at Jackson's in Albuquerque. Very, very, very tough, very hardworking. And in heavyweights, I think, it's such a small group, and all of the guys have such big power. It'd be very easy for him to put together a streak and be right there competing for the title. And, Joanna's come through Albuquerque as well, and I was able to train her, and I just think the world of Joanna. She's so sweet, but such a fierce competitor, and I love that. When I trained her, I just saw a ferocity to her. She went so hard, and I could tell she never wanted to disappoint a coach, and she just gave everything she had every training session. And she's one of the greats. She's one of the all-time greats, especially in women's MMA. And I think same with Joanna. She could be right back in there, put together a fight or two, and be fighting for the title once again. So I'm a big fan of all Polish fighters. Karolina is amazing, so skilled. The Polish people, I think, just put love into everything they do and hard work into everything they do, and it shows in the fighters.
Yeah, true. Thank you for this opinion. So there's a last question on my list, pretty personal, but I think it's cool to end in that fashion, this interview. So I read on this, main website of your gym, the short pieces of information about you as a person, as a man. So you're combining a lot of actions in your life. You're pretty active. You're a dad of three, which is amazing thing. And the weirdest thing I think is a hobby of you, which is repairing watches. What
Oh,
what is it? Is it still actual? And
yeah.
yeah.
I love watches. I actually watch. I'm gonna pull
Okay.
them out.
Okay.
I have too many watches. My wife doesn't always like that, but I've even been working on let me see if you can see this one. This is a
Yeah.
1920s watch.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm always on the look for kind of unique pieces. I like to mess around. I don't always repair them. I'm trying to learn. It's a very complicated process, and
Yeah.
but it's humbling, and it teaches me
Uh-huh.
patience and teaches me to relax and focus, and very similar to holding pads in a lot of ways. But I just, I love different works of art, and especially functional art like a watch. So yeah.
Yeah. But what's the origin of it, of this hobby?
I think I was just always fascinated with watches. I remember my grandmother having like a big wall clock that chimed and cuckoo birds popping out
Yeah.
of it. I've just always been intrigued with horology.
Okay, cool. I have just only one in my life. I'm a southpaw, and I haven't had a watch in my
Hey,
life never. And I have this Casio Retro, very classic.
very New York rapper, 1990s.
Yeah, yeah, something like this. So as I told you before I'm very into 90s hip hop and stuff. So that's it. And it even lights like on green or something on
Oh,
blue.
I love it.
Yeah, so it's very old school one, but the only one I had in my life because I was always, a left-handed person, so I wasn't used to have something on my watch and working with a hand all the time. But it was a gift from my boyfriend, and now it's my favorite all over. So probably if it will be broken, I will not buy any other, but I will just send it to you to fix it.
There we go. I'll do my best.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you
So,
so much.
Brandon, it was more than a pleasure to have this talk with you, but we're about to an end because Aljamain Sterling is waiting.
All right. Have fun. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Do
Yeah.
it again
Bye.
soon.